The turning point of love. Kawacho's Okome is a little crazy. The next morning after the turmoil, 3 swords secretly went out from the back gate here, and after the sick Tai Chi, and Jingoro disappeared from the night, Hozuki Genosuk. It's already 4 or 5 days. Yesterday and today, Okome leaned against a gloomy chest of drawers, and hung a chest of drawers that looked like he was possessed by something, prayed, and wanted to cry. Mr. Genosuk, Mr. Genosuk. Ah, what's wrong with my heart? Why did this name burn into my heart so much? One night at the same house I wonder if the person who just revealed that will never forget this. A strong love that is won by a woman who returns. While licking all the hardships of a man with sensibleness, a dangerous love that is trapped by me, driven by the boil of blood that is pushing down. It's boring. Ah, I'm lonely. Just after seeing Mr. Genosuk, my house after that person left is like a cathedral or a graveyard. A light cough was coming up. A chest of drawers sways around its slender shoulders. Okome put out Kojika paper and held his mouth while sighing. When separated, the pink spit bleeding on the paper, the blood of coughing that people dislike dash. However, in her eyes it seems that a young blood ache has come out there. I'm in love now. Anyway, I'm a life that never lasts. Yes, let's go to Otsu from now on. She stood up flutteringly. But Okome was at a loss again as she stared at the comb at her feet. If I go in and out of the Hachisuka family, I'll send the people of Edo and Genosuk to a hideout away from Osaka, so that the people in the house are worried and not noticed. I might be able to sniff out the samurai. But I can't help but meet Mr. Genosuk as it is. She was in agony, like a doll whose soul was manipulated by an invisible thread. Yeah, I want to get angry. What's going on? She sat down in front of the mirror stand. And she quickly combed the satin, and began to melt the beauty scent and pine gold oil, but there was nothing but love, and she went to Otsu and Yara all at once, and Hozuki Genyuki. I'm going to meet you. Even so, the charm of a beautiful man is better than the perplexity of a beautiful woman. From one conflict wave swirling under the moon in the backyard of that night, to a young man in a camuso, Otsuna, Okome, even the person himself doesn't know that he wants to get entangled with the souls of 2 women. Okome. There was a warm and tasty voice. Okome's mother, an old mother who runs through everything from the store. She came into a small bowl, and she was about to bring something in red. You forgot to wear it again today. Okome's eyes in the mirror, a little crazy love, are squeezing without answering. You have to wear clothes. Yeah, Okome. I don't want to wear clothes today. Okome didn't even look at him while staring at the mirrored go. Say such selfishness, is there someone who doesn't take good care of his body? Well, clothes, because the bamboo has been squeezed right now. The red one in my mother's bowl just as I went. It is said to be good for coughing, so it is the raw blood of a soft-shelled turtle that Okome hides in the eyes. No, I don't want to see anything today. Why, this girl is like a crap. Because I don't like it today. Ah, don't you feel sorry for your life? Yes, I'm kind of sad. Idiot. Don't even know people. Her eyes were full of female parents. Okome-san, there's a person who wants to meet you. Without knowing anything, Yuzo, a subordinate worker, appeared there. Who? Mr. Kinosuke Mori of the Hachisuka family, who came the other day. Today I am alone and waiting upstairs. The scent of Mikaka sneaks into it. Mr. Mori, you came, said Okome, who went through Hajido and Kozushiki. Anyway, the Hachisuka sailors are also important customers in the store, so they showed up unwillingly. Kinosuke Mori, who seems to have been waiting for. Okome, please stay here all the time. Yes, when did you have a terrible rough phase again? What? Is Kinosuke, and I remember the cold sweat from under his armpit, as if Okome had seen the abomination thrown into the water of Akusa by the Kamuso, who couldn't give his surname. So, to hide the Tella. More than ever with dazzling makeup, where did you go? Taking advantage of being asked. Yes, there is an urgent need that I can't remove. And Mr. Mori, what do you say to me? Nothing else, said Kinasuke, dropping his voice and one elbow forward and looking into Okome's face. The Edo man who was away from our house and the Kamuso of that night are no longer here, but I don't think they should be kept secret. No, never. I immediately cancelled it, but Okome's chest was eager to go there. He was stabbed with a single nail and palpitated his complexion. If you don't remember, you won't pursue it deeply. I'm just in front of my colleague, and I'm just trying to do it as a role. Kinasuke, who was gently crushed, shrugged Okome's hand. I grabbed it and pulled it to the side. One more consultation. I want to share it with you today's important business. This is Okome. What are you planning to go to Awa with this Kinasuke in the near future? Well, to Awa? Awa is good. Awa no Kuni is the white walls of Inatsu's castle, surrounded by the tide of Yae. The peaks and mountains are sung by birds of everlasting spring, and their favorite indigo the incense is smoldering like a haze. Whispering, Kinasuke moves his hand from Okome's shoulders to his chest, revealing his heart as if he were listening to the sound of his heart. If it was Okome before he didn't know the country that Okome had longed for at one time, this was Genosuke, he would be fascinated by the whisper. Why don't you come to Awa with me, Okome? It goes without saying how much you've been thinking about it since you first came to this river, chief. Good pine, good water, your favorite place. Let's build a dormitory to the place, let's make any glory. But Mr. Mori, isn't the country of Awa a strict rule that people from other territories are not allowed? Of course it must be that, but if you say I will show you by any means. By the way, why should we dive into the sea and the consolidation of Seiki? If this eagle of the ship's group guides us from within, there is no excuse. It is finally decided that the transfer of the palace will be in February, and the beginning of September. But somehow I'm scared. What's scary, that's how it crosses. Okome suppressed his struggling power, and Kinasuke put his face to his ears, moving his mouth in a word or two. However, it has no power to attract the heart of Okome now. Oh, someone will come, Mr. Mori, please let go of that hand. Okay, you know. I'll think about it later. What are your thoughts, Okome, in the depths of your heart, isn't there such a man's power? Mori-sama, I'm suffocating. Let go, let go. Okome shook the man's hand without picking up the fallen Kogai, and went out and went to Suji. Call the familiar Kogai shop you saw. That sushi shop, please hurry to Oiwake in Otsu, I'll give you as many as you want. He lowered both blinds and hid himself. Then, as the scent began to sway, I remembered a fluttering and light dizziness, and the scent of the man who still remained clung to me. It's a dream shop, why is it so slow? Mr. Genosuke. Mr. Genosuke, the empty heart of Okome is that Kinasuke Mori's friends quickly found it, and this dream I don't even know that I'll follow you later. Suji, farewell to Kiyosaka, Otsu Oiwake to Takedo, the house of the inn is dark, and the shadows of horses and travelers are gone, and the road and eaves are wet with flowers and sprinkling water. In some places, the needle shop, abacus shop, pottery shop, the signboard of the demon's Nembutsu next to it, and the gate standing like the guardian deity of the town with a sword are the shops of Miroi Honsai, who has a picture of Otsu. Uncle, tonight. A wisteria girl without wisteria suddenly came in, so I gathered lanterns and mosquitoes, and Honsai, who was painting at night, was surprised to wear glasses with a tortoiseshell. I raised it. Oh, you're Okome. Yes, Kawacho's Okome leans over to the rising stile, and looks down behind the light. Okome has his uncle, Otsu painter Honsai. Did you come alone? I was looking around Jirajiro and his niece. Yes, suddenly. I was worried. What are you worried about? During this time, I was wondering if the three people who asked the uncle would be known to the Hachisuka family again. What a crap. Because I'm wondering if Mr. Taichi, who is injured, is good or bad. Did you come all the way? When Honsai heard the niece's sweet words in the same sense, he began to paint red and ochre on the line drawn Otsui with a laugh. Hey uncle, are they in the back? Well, if you can put it in the back, don't worry, but it's probably an order from you to keep it until the sick person's wounds heal, but this is a highway, especially because it's easy to see. In fact, under Seiki Myojin, a house called Shigarito is fortunate to have the owner of the hermitage rent it. I'm really sorry for all the hard work. And that Taichi-san's wounds. It's a good story because that boss, Jingoro, takes care of him by reading surgery from Otsu and setting up a medicine bath. That was a good thing. Okome had something in his heart after he was messing around with the gold paint Buddhist painting on the wall of the store, messing around with the edges of the skirt, and messing around with something. Did. And uncle, that Yum Kamuso will still be with you. Yum seems to be there, Hansai said, drawing the demon's head with a brush. Then I wonder if I should go there. Tomorrow, the area around Myojin is pitch black. If it's Shigarito, it's okay because I know it well. Okome immediately opened the gate, and Hansai hurriedly sent a voice to the back. Hey, Okome. AI. You have to come here and sleep. I know. I frowned a little bit and hurriedly walked to the inn, which was already open, and came to the bottom of the stone steps of Seiki Myojin. The cedar grove of Osakayama looked like a devil, and the distant wind noise would have been creepy, but now Okome doesn't know how tired or scary it is. 2 night lights that are blinking cold at night. When you cross the stream and enter the bamboo forest path, the sound of the shakuhachi, which is neither the voice of water nor the swaying of bamboo leaves, leaks from Shigarito. It seems that the sound of the one-piece bamboo was not the rust of the blower, or the excitement of the listener, but to make the sick person forget the pain and leave him to sleep, and when one song was over. Jingoro, it seems that Taichi has slept. And the voice of the person, Genesu Kozuki, who boiled Okome's heart. Cheating, it seems that you fell asleep while listening to your shakuhachi, said Jingoro. The fine bamboo leaves gave me a complete peek inside Shigarito. There is a mosquito net in the back. Genesu Kogetsu in a white coat was facing the arabesque, and was smoldering a mosquito spear on the edge of the rim. How many times will it be? Said Genesuk. Jingoro said, isn't it too late, looking up at Myojo from the eaves. The one light on that mountain should be the light of Seiki Myojin. Ah, no matter where you look, it's just dark, and even a person who looks like an eagle will respond to the loneliness of the trip. And when did you leave Edo? It was just after the rainy season, so it was almost a month ago. It was different from the beginning, and instead of crossing Awa no Seiki, Taichi collapsed and the road silver was scolded. Apparently, I was standing on a bad day. Maybe. And what are you going to do after this? Well, Mr. Genesuk, that's actually the case. Jingoro took it seriously and sank his voice there. Outside, Okome, in love with that person, flew from Osaka without an arrow or shield, glancing at the shadow of Genesuk, and being surrounded by hesitation and shame, without being able to speak to him. As the two began to talk secretly, the courage to surprise them was further discouraged, and while feeling the sound of blood screaming dots, I hugged my chest and crouched down to the hem of the plaque. Although it was secret, Jingoro's voice continued immediately with all his might. In the sky of a trip full of doji, I met you at all with Zimi Motokiyoka Jingoro believes. Even with this awa, it's a burden to my taste. It's a big role that has passed. Please lend me your help. Let me help you. Hey, there is no other power than you to support the fallen Surugadai Takagi and Koga's house. I'm especially sorry for Chie-sama, who doesn't have a person who depends on the world. Don't you think that he is unlucky, mister? The person in the white coat is silent. When he saw, his eyes were closed. His lips are shaking slightly, as if he has some pain in his heart. If you don't forget that person, Mr. Genesuk. Wow. Even if I think about Chie-sama's body, let's go out, even though he's a bastard. I'm sorry. Jingoro Karakusa turned away for a while, folding his thick arm and hiding both eyes of Mio. But the unlucky Chie-sama also had the strong power of being one of you. However, even one of them has been hiding in Pui and Kamuso Temple since 2 years ago, and he reassures Chie-sama. Honestly, I was grudged at that time, I was stupid, and since I was standing in my bangs, I swore that I was in love, but it became known to the world. There is no way to leave Edo after hiding in the Kamuso temple, and I can't look good on Mr. Genosuke, who is also the youngest of the first and the big bosses, and he's not like a man. Then, did I have so much resentment that I left Okiden and disappeared from Eno? I'm sorry to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my younger sister, who is a nanny, had a relationship with Oki without knowing that she was such a merciless young man. No, I haven't bruxed my sister's teeth yet. Let's mourn the abandoned Chiesama. I'm sorry to remember, I'm totally guilty. A man in a stunning lab coat, his mouth is tightly tied, his appearance is like ice, and his profile seems to die. Chiesama? Chiesama? The name was like an ikuchi, and it struck Okome's chest, which was lurking behind the rattan. Then, the devil's shadow dances to the illusion of her love that I have drawn so far. The more the attitude of Genosuke became calm, the more the tone of Jingoro became more enthusiastic, and became the heat itself. That's not all. Now around Chiesama, that beauty, and the demons that aim for the treasure of the Koga family are hung around. Speaking of who, you two let's get acquainted with a man named Shuma Tabakawa who has tenacious wisdom. Shuma Tabakawa? While muttering in his mouth, Hozuki Genosuke opened his eyes for the first time, and his cool soul revived something with a strong memory. Yes, I'm sorry for that week. Fortunately, you, your loved one, have left Edo, and you're blaming Chiesama in the yin and yang. Well, don't you think you haven't given up yet? Instead of pulling my hand, I'm finally in love with my side. I'm a thick bastard who wants to change his hand, change his goods, and even make the treasure of the Koga family his own. Oh, that Shuuma would plan that much. I'm a Tyler from Amato from the beginning, and I can't stand him very much, but I can't even look at the circumstances of Chiesama. I suddenly thought about entering Awa, and with his letter, I searched for Zimi's safety, and if I was alive, I would have been alive. Spring is coming to Koka's house. So I actually jumped out. I see, it's the usual humor. I'm in love, but I'm stubborn, and I'm hiding under the canopy. Well, you're welcome. However, this is a big challenge for the first generation. It doesn't seem like the work is going to be a Ryu, but first of all, I'm prepared to think that my life isn't going beyond Naruto's Seiki. However, the only thing that makes me think about it is Chiesama, who doesn't meet in the spring, and is scattered with the luck of the house and withers. If Mr. Genosuke, I'll guess this too, after I stand, please go back to Edo Omote, and help Chiesama unfortunately. As you can see, Jingoro asks you to hold both hands. What did you do? Let's get lost. Where there is no lie or swearing, Oki-sama is in love with you. It may be fun just to show her face. Mr. Jingoro is a lifelong request, please come back to him once. The person's profile was still cold, and I couldn't say a word of consent, perhaps because such a sincere voice still didn't hit the other person's heart. But it was Okome's chest that had been crouching on the hem of the leopard from a while ago, not the person who was struck too strongly. Mr. Genosuke has a woman. There was a girl in deep love called Oki-sama. The heart that knew this seemed to have been splashed with water on the fire. I was dizzy, and I felt like I was struck by the deep darkness, and I clung to the bamboo on the side. The bamboo trunk that supported it bent sideways, and the leaves of the bamboo grass fell apart, and the rain of lapis lazuli. A miserable due to Okome. And then one man. He ran away from it, running from darkness to darkness. It seems that he was a member of Kinosuke Mori, who had been wearing Okome, and was able to see Shigurito at this time. After a while, about half an hour later, Okome noticed that he was sick. A lot of people are surrounded by lanterns in front of him. Among them was my uncle Hansai, a shopkeeper, and Jingoro, and Genosuke Hozuki, who whispered in a low voice. Eventually Okome was laid down on the door plate with Sorori. The lanterns come first, and the light of Shigurito, the lights of sad love gradually get farther away, passing through the dark Oiwake-shuku. I was tomorrow and spit blood when I was dead. Blood in my clothes. Blood. Okome stares at the star on the door, feeling cold and wet on his fingers. My love is unmatched, Mr. Genesuk has a girl, but even if she doesn't, I've been informed of this illness. Only her head was clear.